guys, and welcome to my bookshelves. They're finally all done here, and I can't believe they're all done, and I finally get to put books on them. And so down here, if you see at these first shelves, I kind of have this plan laid out, but down here I'm going to put like collections together in fantasy series. I think on the very first shelf, and on the second shelf maybe collections. On this small shelf where the little clock is, I think I'm going to do romance. Probably at the very top I'm going to start with Jane Austen novels, and then these ones I really am not sure, but it might be more collections. But really I want to put like holiday decorations in here because I'm probably filming in front of this bookshelf the most right here. And then the one in the far corner, I'm gonna, not really sure, but it might be filled with more collections. Down below, I know 4 of the small tiny shelves are gonna be for kids books, because we sorted out all our kids books and went through them, decided which ones we wanted to put out here on display and everything, and for part of my kids library. 4 of them are my oldest daughter's shelves, and the other 4 I was thinking of doing all white and black books. And then in the far corner shelf that's short on top of the sofa like area, I think that one it is all children's books as well. There's one just of hardbacks for my kids, and then there's their pop-up book collection, which is our favorite collection. And the very top shelf will have my kids collection books. So I know those are only I know like 8 of the shelves completely, but everything else might completely change. And then the last one that's right next to it by the yellow chair, I think I'm gonna try and do rainbow. But yeah, like I said in the last video, my cushions are not in yet. I do have a bunch of pillows, and I don't know if they're gonna stay or not, but I'll update you that when the cushions come in. I am gonna put like holiday storage for my sewing stuff below. The rug, if you guys are wondering, the rug is from Magnolia Home, or no, it's like Hearth and Hand from Target. So it was a pretty cheap rug. I think I got the 7x10. And then the yellow chair we've had forever. The little stool is by Studio Migi, which I've been watching her since she first posted a video here on YouTube. I love her as an interior designer. The little blue table is from, who is that from? That's from Marshalls and Home Goods. And then there's like a little yellow stool in here that we use to like climb up on things, and my mother-in-law made that. So all the pillows are like kind of collection. I could go through those later, maybe once I know which ones are actually staying in here and everything, and once the cushions are in. But yeah, let's get started. There are some picture frames in here. There are a lot of knickknacks that I have to put in here as well. The picture frames are empty, so hopefully one day I get around to putting those in. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so this is the last time it's all gonna be empty, and I'm about ready to cover basically all the floor and books. Some of the shelves will have books on them, so we can sort through them and put them away, and hopefully it goes easier said than done. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. So this is where we are at. I feel like maybe a quarter left. But some of these are double stacked, so I'm gonna have to go through them. I have this full bookshelf to fill up, these little ones, and then this series are not quite there yet. Keep it going. So the rainbow shelf I like how it turned out a lot. It starts with like light blues and purples, and then goes up to deeper blues, dark blues, and then the greens, of course, and then the greens and yellows and oranges, and then the oranges and pinks and peach, and then up at the very top are the reds and red oranges. But I love how this shelf turned out. It's a really fun shelf, especially to have next to the kids shelves, which those were my classic kids books when I was younger, and then these are the pop-up books that we love so much and we'll never get rid of, and then these are a ton of classic hardbacks. There's some of the shelf we'll get rid of when my kids grow out of them, but like probably never the Dr. Seuss here and stuff like that, but a lot of good classics on that shelf too. So starting down over here, we have just collections. The Land of Other Stories, Babysitter's Club, Little House on the Prairie, Anne of Green Gables collection there, some Lemony Snickets, some Nancy Drew, and a bunch of Rick Rodans, and then some Scott books. And then over here we have the ever popular Diary of the Wimpy Kid and Big Nate. There's so many good books down here. There's Melissa De La Cruz and Holes up here and Meg Cabot, but down here we have Big Nate, Lois Lowry, Captain Underpants, these Stilton Station books. Stilton books, they're really popular. Judy Blume and Beverly Cleary and Roald Dahl and Whatever Alice, and then Junie B. Jones, first grader. So down here all we have is some Ken Follett, Dan Brown, which I'm missing some Dan Brown, but mostly nonfiction, Christian, and Christian fiction. And then we have some YA middle grade reads, and then a bunch of children's reads, kind of tried to rainbow color coordinate those. So the white and black shelf, this is the hardest shelf for me. It's like white, black, and peach, as my daughter says. But I had to get rid of nearly half of these books to have them all single row. But I'm really proud of them. The romance shelf starts with Jane Austen up there. I did have them on these small ones, but I had to switch them because I just have too many romances. And then we go to historical romances. Here we have Lisa C. and Philippa Gregory, two of my favorites. And then Pam Jenoff is also historical romance, but down here we get into contemporary romance I love. And then tons of contemporary romances, some of my favorite authors. And then down here at the bottom is my only like double row shelf, and I love it. All the ones in the back I have not read, and then ones in the front I'm like still reading. So there's a lot of these books will probably end up going one day. And then the small middle row, I just didn't know what to do with a lot of these. Some of these are favorite authors, but not necessarily romance or fantasy or anything. So we've got some classics up top that are really pretty classics. And then Kristen Hanna, we're missing a few Kristen Hanna books. They're out on loan. And then Frederick Bachman was one of my favorites. And then these are just hardbacks I absolutely love, because I might have those authors elsewhere in the library. And then these are a bunch of singles I love. And then we have the Knitting Collection from Kate Jacobs. And then we hit a YA shelf, which is filled with Thomas Oliver and John Green, so really good YA shelf. And then down here are some random romance books that are kind of flow over from there. Okay, up at the very top here, of course, we have Tolkien and T.A. Barron and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series. And they're surrounded there by the little Tolkien guys. And then down here, this shelf is one shelf I do want to separate because I'm going to probably collect more Rachel Meach. She's my favorite fantasy author. And then down at Gobbledon, And then of course here we have a J.K. Rowling shelf protected by the Gargoyles of Hogwarts. And then right here we have one of my favorite authors, Anna Gaberson, and then some of my favorite series I've read. Quite a big mix there of series. And then down here we have the Sticky Stackhouse series. I had so much fun with those. And then these ones, I've read partially some of these ones, but a bunch of these ones I need to read or get rid of. And then this bottom shelf, the same thing. I've read about half the shelf, and I'm not sure if I'm keeping the half I have read. So yeah, this one hopefully is one of the ones I can get rid of a lot of books and then have room for the Diana Gabaldon shelf. Okay, so last shelf here we have Aragon, and then we have our Twilight Collection, Hunger Games, and Gregory Maguire. The Hunger Games are protected by the Pure Totem Harry Potter shelf. I just didn't need one more set of Harry Potter. My daughter has the first Harry Potter in her room right now, but that's my Harry Potter collection, and it's right next to the J.K. Rowling collection, of course. And then we have the DC Icon shelf / Marissa Meyer / Leigh Bardugo, amazing authors. And then down here we have Sarah J. Maas, which I love, and Stephanie Garber and Catherine McGee and Megan Spooner. And then Crave I just collected this year, and then that Brackman book is just like a one-off because it wouldn't fit down here, honestly, which I have down here a bunch of kind of single fantasies, and then of course the Cassandra Clare and Veronica Roth series.